I want to talk about a post I read about, and what happened was some girl got tapped by some guy and she popped her elbow. Like, excuse me, I don't know if it was a submission or not, but her elbow got popped. Everyone in the room heard it. She cried for 15 minutes, and then her husband went on an online rampage, like being mad at the guy who did it. And so the person who posted about it was not involved, but he said, oh, the guy, rather than address it in private with the training part. So first of all, what does this have to do with the husband? This has nothing to do with the husband. So we have two training partners, one guy, one girl. The guy somehow managed to do something, and the girl's elbow popped. Like, first of all, what were the dynamics of this situation? Because it sounds like an armbar where she didn't tap. Okay, that's what it sounds like. And here's the problem. That's her fault. Now, it may not have gone that way. And also, there are ways to handle it. Like, so for example, when I'm training with a white belt, it sounds like white belt girl. If she's crying for 15 minutes for a slight elbow sprain, that sounds like white belt girl, even though like I still cry. I just do it in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, and most of the time I cry from like shock when people are just being like extremely rough. But if this may be the first time she's encountered adversity, not just on a jiu-jitsu mat, but in her life. Like if this is a white belt girl who was lured into this by her husband and basically babied by everybody, she may not even know that she's supposed to tap. Like for me, tapping should be the number one lesson that everybody learns in jiu-jitsu. And that's what, like, I'm going to cut to the chase right now and say that I think that a lot of stuff could be avoided. A lot of unpleasant situations could be avoided on jiu-jitsu mats if students, and particularly girls, were tapped on their first day. Like 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times. It reminds me of Pedro Sauer used to talk about, because his number one training partner was Rickson Gracie when they were both 10 years old. And Pedro Sauer said that like he'd go home some days and be like, Mom, Dad, I only got tapped 50 times today. It was such an awesome day for me. You know what I mean? And like at the same time, we've got white belt girls who have literally never been tapped. They get to purple belt and they've never been tapped. Right? They don't think they have to tap. Like, people don't understand that just because you're not saying verbally to someone, you don't have to tap, you're special. Like, if that's what you're modeling, then that's what they're going to understand. And so I don't know the dynamics of this situation, and I feel really strongly about mat safety, and I feel really strongly that 99% of these injuries could be avoided. People used to treat their injuries like the red badge of courage, like it was something to be proud of. It's not something to be proud of. If you're getting injured, you're probably, someone is losing control, right? And that's really on the professor. So for me, number one, you have to be honest with your students. When they walk in the door, you have to explain to them, this is a full contact martial art. You're going to get bumped. You're going to get minor injuries. Okay? And it might be worse than that. It's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to hurt. Okay? The best way to stay safe is to stay in control and tap early, tap often. That's what I learned. That one of the first jiu-jitsu classes I ever attended, this blue belt guy said, in jiu-jitsu, you're either the hammer or the nail. He said, and you're going to be the nail for a long time before you're ever the hammer. And I don't think people are told that nowadays. And I don't think girls in particular are told that. And I think that guys have this sense of misplaced chivalry, like we have to protect the girls and we have to let them win all the time, and then at the same time, girls, they don't understand, like, this isn't our wheelhouse tendentially. Like, martial arts are a guy thing. Guys just like to fight, and women don't really come out of the womb just like wanting to fight. So For me, the number one thing, explain to the girls what they're getting into. The number two thing is tap them from day one. The instructor should tap them. High level students should tap them so many times that this is a normal part of their lives. And they know that the minute they have no defenses, that's a time to tap, not when it snaps.